Miss Perkins says she thought what she had with Mr. Johnson was magic. Now she realizes it was all just smoke and mirrors. Today on Divorce Court.
This is the case of Perkins versus Johnson. Miss Perkins, as I understand it, you've been together 3 years. You have one child together who is 6 months, and you have 2 children from previous relationship. And sir, you have 1 child from a previous relationship. So again, there are a lot of stakes here. Why are we in divorce court today?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here today because I'm tired of being strung along, feeling like a single parent. Quentin is a liar, a mama's boy, and he smoked too much weed.
Oh, that sounds like a triple threat and not in the right way or the right direction. Mr. Johnson, what do you say to Ms. Perkins' allegations?
For one, I do smoke a lot of weed, but I'm not a mama's boy like that. And I definitely take care of my responsibility with my kids, though, regardless of everything.
So you are a weed-smoking, non-mama's boy is what you're telling me?
Oh, yeah. That's my job.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So just so we're clear, Ms. Perkins, are you suggesting that Mr. Johnson is not taking care of his obligations financially?
It is honestly heartbreaking when children are caught in the middle of adult disappointments. You can feel the exhaustion in Miss Perkins' voice already. She walked into court today carrying not just her own pain, but the weight of an entire family's future.
To when you first met?
We met at my sister's birthday party. He actually lived next door from her, so he came over. I thought he was fine, so I told my sister, yeah, put me on, sis, you know. So she ended up putting me on.
See, the good-looking ones will always mess you up. Sorry.
So we started talking. He was a gentleman, and he really is different from what I'm ever used to. So
now, what do you mean when you say he's different from what you're ever used to?
I'm used to the street guys and just no good guys. He actually really is a good guy underneath all his habits and stuff like that.
Okay, so Mr. Johnson, Ms. Perkins say she knew you were the one because of your character in the beginning. What did you think of Ms. Perkins?
I mean, she definitely had the type of personality that I felt was fun and outgoing. And I could see the mother in her from the start because we both already had kids. So it wasn't that hard to hit it off with her.
And you took on the responsibility of her children, am I correct?
Yeah.
And they live in your home?
Yes.
Ms. Perkins, does Mr. Johnson contribute financially to the home?
Not really, but like I said, when we first met, I told him I'm a woman with standards because I have kids already. I feel like I'm a grown woman, and I feel like he's not really mature enough to, you know, handle a person like me yet. So I told him before we take the next step, we need to get married. There's no more shacking up. Before we live together, have kids, we need to be married. He promised the house, the ring, the traditional family, the picket fence, and everything.
And you have a baby that's 6 months old right now.
Yes.
At first, everything sounds like a fairy tale. 2 people from rough pasts hoping to create something stable. But the truth is, hope alone cannot build a family. Love is beautiful, but stability needs honesty, responsibility, and shared effort.
We all moved in, settled in and everything. His mom comes to visit. Well, his mom comes with suitcases and say, take this up to the room for me. Take this to her room. And I'm like, what room? And she like, this is my house. I said, I'm looking at Quentin like, you said this was your house. I thought the house was passed down to you. So what is your mama talking about? This is her house. So we're not actually living in his house. We living with his mama.
Tag, you're it. Mr. Johnson, what have happened?
Given the fact that, like I said, my name be on the bills and it's on the house and it was left to me in my grandmother's will and to my mother after her. So that being said, it's not that we stay with my mom. My mom stays with me at this point because she thought about moving, but because she has health complications, she decided to stay because she needed extra help.
Well, one, admirable, no problem whatsoever. That's your mama. If your mother needs to be in that house, that's where your mama's supposed to be. But just want to be clear. Your grandmother passed away. It was your grandmother's house. Your grandmother left the house.
This moment really hit me. Imagine thinking you are starting a life with someone, only to realize the foundation was not what you were promised, not because the love was fake, but because the truth was never fully shared. This is not just about a house. It is about trust.
Bring him up here so we can, talk or whatever. She's like, that's not the owner. That's not the part owner. I was so embarrassed. My cousin like, so where is he? He come from the back from his break. Talking about some, what you doing here?
Okay, objection.
The house that I bought my parents still belongs to my daddy until my daddy leaves this earth. Then that house goes to my sister. Does that make sense?
Right.
It don't go to my sister while my daddy is alive. It's still my daddy's house. Does that make sense? So,
yes.
Some tell me that's how your grandmama set it up also.
Yes, Your Honor.
No.
So I'm right. Okay, so we don't need to argue about it. Okay, so we don't need to argue about it. By the way, that is a normal situation. This is not abnormal. So the point is, why didn't you and Ms. Perkins have this conversation, Mr. Johnson? That's what I'm talking about.
Because he likes to wordplay a lot to get what he wants, to make it seem like it's one thing and it's not.
I don't wordplay. She's just the type of person that sometimes you have to tell things in a certain type of way because she doesn't get the full picture and she kind of jumps off on a tangent before we get a certain level of fun.
Well, the full picture is my mama and I live together. My mother's going to be moving unless, of course, something happens that prevents her from moving. I'd like you to come in and be with us and help us raise our family here in this home. One day, this house will be mine and thus it'll be yours. But I just want to let you know what the lay of the land is before you move in, because it will impact on our relationship.
The judge said it perfectly. A simple 5-minute honest conversation could have avoided years of resentment. We often avoid uncomfortable truths thinking it will protect love, but lies are always a slow poison.
You say he's a liar about...
No, ma'am. He's also a liar because he lied about his job.
Okay.
Lord, let me tell you. So when we first met, he was in between jobs, but he had money, so I never really questioned where you actually work. He was just he was getting money, so I had no problem.
Well, that's your first mistake, because I want to know where the money is coming from, okay? Well, and nowadays these people lie, okay? They'll be taking screenshots of other people's bank accounts and showing them to you, talking about that's their bank accounts. So you do need to be a little bit of the FBI, CIA, Department of Justice to make sure that you have all the facts.
Yes. So let me tell you, he lied about his job. He ended up getting a job, I guess you can call it that. But he said he was part owner of a weed dispensary.
That's a good job.
It is a wonderful job. Part owner, I was bragging. I'm like, yeah. So all my family and friends and stuff my man, this and that. So my cousin one day came into town. She smoked weed. So I was like, okay, my man, he work at he part owner of the dispensary. I know we can get a good discount. So I go there. She shopping around and stuff. We at the checkout, and I tell the checkout lady, okay, Quentin, he's the part owner. Could you bring him up here so we can, talk or whatever? She's like, that's not the owner. That's not the part owner. She tells me the owner's name and shows me the picture even. She's like, Quentin is on ID scan in the back. I said, she was like, no, he just work here. He don't own anything. I said, I was so embarrassed. My cousin so where is he? He come from the back from his break. Talking about some, what you doing here?
Okay, objection.
This was honestly painful. Miss Perkins had pride in her partner. She bragged about him. She believed in him. And then reality slapped her in public. It is not about money. It is about the humiliation of being lied to, again and again.
The family that is in need of funds, support, resources presently, your goals and aspirations, while admirable, need to leave your partner with a feeling that she and the family are going to be taken care of now. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. So what's your plan of action?
I mean, my plan of action now is to keep working, because with what I've been doing and what I've been saving, I've definitely been contributing to the bills, feeding the kids, even doing recreational stuff with her to make sure our relationship can still maintain and, stand up strong. So
Ms. Perkins, Mr. Johnson is saying that his wordplay is not deep enough for you to consider it to be lying, that your expectations of him are a little higher than where he is right now. Would you agree with that, Ms. Perkins?
No, Your Honor, I would not. On top of being a liar, the smokaholic.
What do you mean by that?
Smoking so much weed, he has to smoke before he go to work. Smoke after he go to work. Smoke while he at work on his breaks, actually. Then
Is that a part of the gig? I mean,
Yes. Not for everybody, because some people just do edibles and concentrate. But I mean, if you're a smoker, it's like, one, I like to, make this disclaimer.
Dreams are important, but when you have a family, dreams must come with a plan. Survival needs more than hope. It needs action. You can see Judge Starr pushing him gently but firmly. Good intentions do not pay bills.
this is the opportunity for you to break down your perception of what that looks like.
Yes. One, when it comes to things on the regular and me dealing with her when I'm at home and not at work, she's not the compassionate type of person in which she's just like, oh, babe, how you doing? How'd your day go? Anything like that. I got to beg her for a hug, a kiss, anything like that. Any type of I love yous or anything.
Mr. Johnson, just let me interrupt and ask you a question. Does she work outside the home?
Yes.
So she's working all day also, right?
Yeah. She goes to work she leaves work as I'm going out to go to work. So
you all are on conflicting schedules for all
Yes.
practical purposes?
Yes.
Got it.
We drop the kids off at school in the morning, then she goes to work at 11. I go to work at 2:30, 3 o'clock. When I come home, I don't go straight to the back porch. I ask if anything needs to be done with any other children, or do you want to spend time, watch a movie, do anything first before I do anything on my own? Because I know if I don't, it's going to be held against me. You see what I'm saying? So I really try to make sure I got all my T's crossed and all my I's dotted before I even go on to do my own thing. But I do feel like after a 7-hour shift, I should be able to go back on the back porch for not even an extended period of time, because the only time I go back there and extend it is when my services aren't needed and nobody wants to spend any time with me. So of course I'm going to spend time by myself.
So I actually heard a whisper from the jury services. They picked up on that. Your services is to be a partner and a father.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Why haven't we established the first couple of hours when you all are on the same time schedule? Because clearly by 10 o'clock at night, from 10 to midnight, you're still awake. So because you don't have to get up until, 7, 8 hours later. Why can't that be family time? Ms. Perkins, just for those 2 hours that you spend some time, whatever. If y'all are cooking, if y'all are cleaning, if you are engaging with the baby, why haven't we established that is our...
I love how the judge pointed this out. 2 hours of real time together could change everything. Families are not built in grand moments. They are built in tiny, ordinary moments. Movie nights, bottle feedings, asking, how was your day?
On divorce court, what was the final straw that brought you to court?
Quentin is a mama's boy, for sure.
I understand your mother sent me in a videotaped statement, and I'd like to hear that right now.
He needs to step it up a little. Mama can't pick up the slack all the time.
I take that, what she said, full on, but my thing is, if I'm to be the one that's gonna hold the house down, take care of her, take care of the kids, and take care of her, I'm gonna need a real partner. You gotta treat me like a husband if you wanna be treated like a wife.
I'm not a very passionate person when it comes to our relationship.
So, Ms. Perkins, are we avoiding the elephant in the room, that there's an intimacy problem between the two of you?
Yes.
What's the problem, Mr. Johnson?
It's like being in a relationship with somebody that you don't get a hug from, you don't get a kiss from, you gotta beg for all of that.
You were emotional just a minute ago and you stopped it. You need to let your emotions go. What are you not getting out of this relationship that you need?
This ending was powerful. Under all the anger, there is so much sadness. Both of them wanted love. Both of them wanted connection. But the lies, the broken promises, the loneliness, it all became too loud to hear each other anymore.